Welcome to DeFi, Dharma and Liberty, a show where we look at all things crypto through a strong moral and libertarian lens. In this episode, we're going to be covering the crypto market update. The current market cap sits at $2.1 trillion, 24-hour volume of 94.4 billion. Bitcoin dominance is 40%, Ether 19%. Some of the trending coins, we got Steppen GMT up 1.3%. We got Moonbeam GLMR up 4.5%. Teddy Doge currently down 12.8%. Some of the biggest gainers we've seen in the last 24 is Bitcoin Metaverse up a whopping 22,000%, V-Finance 196%, GasDAO up 183%. Looking at Bitcoin, price is now 46,100 US, down 1.6% for the week. Ethereum 3,500, currently up 5.96% for the week. In DeFi, we've got biggest gainer being Terra Luna, up 21.59% for the week. AVAX is up a nice 5.73% for the week. Wrapped Bitcoin's currently down 1.79% for the week. Link is up 5.7% for the week. Uniswap 2.47% for the week. Phantom's had a nice jump back, up 10.7% for the week. And Theta there 8.5% for the week. Checking out the Metaverse, we've got Decentralised doing well. It's currently down 1.5% for the week. Sandbox is down 2.1% for the week. Axie Infinity, after that big exploit, down 3% for the week. ApeCoin down 19% for the week. So it might be a good buying opportunity for ApeCoin if you're looking at that. Looking at NFTs, so Azuki, the greatest volume of the week, a whopping 25.251 ETH. Clone X, 12.685 ETH for the week. Bored Ape Yacht Club, Mutant Ape Yacht Club, Doodles, Cyber Brokers, Pudgy Penguins, Invisible Friends, Three Landers and Frenzies round out the volume for the week. So we see Bored Ape Yacht Club still climbing in floor price up to 110.9 ETH floor price. Out of reach for most, no doubt. We've had a nice big gain for Pudgy Penguins. They're up 140% in their floor price for the week. Take the top, the biggest gains in floor price this week. Quirkies, 117%. They're up this week, their floor price. Cyber Brokers up 99.5%. So some good gains in some of the NFTs there. Top stories on Bitcoin.com. We've got Shiba Inu presents Shiba Metaverse with over 100,000 land plots set to be released. So the Shiba Inu, the meme coin project that mimicked Dogecoin, has announced it's launching its own metaverse. Project's called Shiba the Metaverse. They'll introduce more than 100,000 plots of land to be unlocked at different times. The Shiba Inu team has announced the prices of the plots, which depend on their location, detailing that they will be sold for Ether instead of the metaverse's native token Shiba Inu. So Shiba the Metaverse will have its direct integration with Shiboshis, a series of NFTs issued by the project. So they've specified that this project will be developed by a yet-named third-party game studio. According to the announcement issued by the project team, Shiba the Metaverse is the culmination of our history as a community, virtually displayed in a layer of beautiful visuals that showcase our innovation and unity with a place to truly call home. So furthermore, the announcement declares that all of the tokens in the Shiba Inu environment will play an important role in the metaverse, and that the community will have a great deal of interaction in this virtual environment. So the land plots and prices. Shiba the Metaverse aims to have one of the biggest land maps when compared with similar projects. So the team confirmed that more than 100,000 plots will be created, and these will be able to be leveraged for more than just decoration. So while there's no explanation of the way in which these plots will be monetized, the team has stated users who own land in Shiba, the Metaverse, will be able to generate passive income, gather in-game resources, and generate rewards. Part of these plots will be kept by the team to be used as common grounds needed for players to move across the map of the metaverse. Each one of the plots will have varying prices depending on the tiers of the metaverse in which the plot is grouped. The prices of the land plots were announced in ETH instead of SHIB, the native token of the project, a decision that the team had to explain on the issue. They stated, as we will use the collected funds to pay for the metaverse development, the team has decided to use a neutral coin that can be sold into stable coins in order to pay for all the sources. Continuing on Bitcoin.com, we've got India's crypto trading volume plummets as new tax rules enter into force. So the crypto trading volumes in India have plummeted following the new tax law entering into force. The new rules impose a 30% flat tax on crypto income and do not allow losses to be offset against gains. Absolutely criminal. So the new crypto tax rules entered into force on April 1st after the country's parliament approved Finance Bill 22. A flat tax of 30% now applies to crypto income with no deductions or loss offsets allowed. So on April 1st, you'd like to think it's some kind of April Fool's joke, but it's not. Crypto exchanges in India began seeing a sharp decline in trading volumes. Aditya Singh, who runs the YouTube channel Crypto India, posted screenshots on Twitter showing a sharp decline in trading volume at 4 major crypto exchanges in India. So this is just the start of the decline of such a great ecosystem that we had in India. Twitter user Shivam Chenga commented on our government must think about taxation rules that bolster the industry and their tax revenue at the same time. Many people earning their living from crypto trading. India's finance ministry explained the lower house of parliament last week that no deduction in respect of any expenditure or allowance is allowed. Furthermore, losses from crypto cannot be offset against gains. A flat 30% tax that does not differentiate short-term capital gains from long-term gains, with no provision for deducting expenses incurred or offsetting losses, is not in tune with the tax framework for other asset classes and is discriminatory. 100% agree. It's criminal in my mind. Crypto supporters in India have petitioned on change.org for the government to introduce reasonable crypto tax policies. At the time of writing, the petition has garnered more than 103,000 signers. On July 1st, another damaging tax provision will come into effect. A 1% tax deduction deducted at source will be imposed on crypto transactions. An Indian Parliament member recently explained why this is detrimental to the crypto industry. So terrible news there for India. On Bitcoin.com, we've got US Senator Cruz introduces bill to prevent Federal Reserve from using digital currency as a surveillance tool. So the US Senator Ted Cruz has introduced legislation to prohibit the Federal Reserve from issuing a CBDC or central bank digital currency directly to individuals and competing with the private sector. The senator from Texas warned that not only would this CBDC model centralize financial information, leaving it vulnerable to attack, but it could also be used as a direct surveillance tool into the private transactions of Americans. So Senator Cruz introduced a bill to prevent the Fed from issuing a digital dollar to retail customers. So he introduced the legislation on Wednesday to prohibit the Federal Reserve from issuing the CBDC directly to individuals. An announcement posted on his official website describes the bill was co-sponsored by Senators Mike Braun and Chuck Grassley. No reserve bank may offer products or services directly to an individual, maintain an account on behalf of an individual, or issue a central bank digital currency directly to an individual. The text of the bill reads, stating that the bill aims to maintain the dollar's dominance without competing with the private sector, and it is important to note that the Fed does not and should not have the authority to offer retail bank accounts, the announcement details. So the legislation prohibits the Federal Reserve from developing a direct-to-customer CBDC, which could be used as a financial surveillance tool by the federal government, similar to what's currently happening in China. Sounds like a good idea, trying to stop them from using it as a tool of surveillance and control, or at least helping to limit it. How it will pan out, we'll soon find out, I guess. So Cruz concluded we should be empowering entrepreneurs, enabling innovation and increasing individual freedom, not stifling it. So good libertarian news there. Someone sticking up for freedom and human rights. States the Fed must only craft a CBDC framework that is open, permissionless and private, meaning any digital dollar must be accessible to all, transact on a blockchain that is transparent to all, and maintain the privacy elements of cash. Indeed it must. Here on Cointelegraph we got the crypto industry fires back after the EU vote to block unhosted wallets. So the crypto industry has fired back at the EU Parliament, the legislative arm of the EU, voting in favour of stringent crypto regulations relating to unhosted private wallets. The guidelines would require crypto service providers to verify the identity of every individual using an unhosted wallet that interacts with them, while any transaction greater than €1,000 would need to be reported to authorities. Imagine if the EU required your bank to report you to the authorities every time you paid your rent merely because the transaction was over €1,000, Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong wrote on Twitter. Or if you sent money to your cousin to help with groceries, the EU required your bank to collect and verify private information about your cousin before allowing you to send these funds. It's absolutely criminal and comes down to control and surveillance. We got Axie Infinity's Ronin bridge that was hacked for over 600 million. So Axie Infinity's Ronin bridge was the victim of a hefty attack worth around 612 million earlier this week, with 173,600 ETH and 25.5 million USDC being stolen from the platform. Ronin developers stated that the attacker used hacked private keys to forge fake withdrawals, draining the funds from the Ronin bridge in just 2 transactions. In a statement on Wednesday, the developers stated that they were working with law enforcement officials, forensic cryptographers, and other investors to make sure all the funds are recovered or reimbursed. All of the AXS, RON, and SLP tokens on Ronin are currently safe right now. EU officials want European Banking Authority to list crypto companies at risk of criminal activity. So more from the EU. According to a press release, MEPs have adopted new rules for mandating European Banking Authority to create a registry of crypto businesses that are at risk of money laundering, terrorism finance and other criminal activity. The rules are part of the EU's latest vote to clamp down on unhosted cryptocurrency wallets, which requires that crypto exchanges perform Know Your Customer routines, or KYC, when sending and receiving funds from their platform. So, as already stated, this is pretty much criminal and just comes down to control and surveillance. So they are justifying it, saying illicit flows in crypto assets move largely undetected across Europe and the world, which makes them an ideal instrument for ensuring anonymity. But we all know that cash is the currency of majority of crime, not crypto. Crypto's minute in comparison. So, as illustrated by the recent money laundering scandals from the Panama Papers to the Pandora Papers, criminals thrive where rules allowing for confidentiality allow for secrecy and anonymity. With this proposal for regulation, the EU will close this loophole. Well, clearly it's not, because all that was done with cash through banks. Anyway, people fall for this crap. According to the Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong, the new changes obliterate the EU's existing privacy standards, setting up the stage for mass surveillance. Completely agree. The latest draft by the Parliament for the Transfer of Funds regulation treats crypto and every person who holds crypto differently from fiat. Indeed it does. This eviscerates all of the EU's work to be a global leader in privacy law and policy. It also disproportionately punishes crypto holders and erodes their individual rights in deeply concerning ways. A very bad policy indeed. So, on Daily Hodl, Goldman Sachs is gearing up to offer full spectrum of Bitcoin and crypto investment services to wealthy clients. Oh, nice. So the banking giant is reportedly looking to offer crypto investment services to its deep-pocketed clients in the coming months. According to a new report by CNBC, the investment bank soon plans to add support for Bitcoin and a full spectrum of other crypto assets due to high demand for its high net worth customers, says Mary Rich, the newly appointed head of digital assets for Goldman Sachs Private Wealth Management Division. We're working closely with teams across the firm to explore ways to offer thoughtful and appropriate access to the ecosystem for private wealth clients, and that is something we expect to offer in the near term. There's a contingent of clients who are looking to cryptocurrencies as a hedge against inflation. Ding, ding, ding. And the macro drop over the past year has certainly played into that. There are also a large contingent of clients who feel like we're sitting at the dawn of a new internet in some ways and are looking for ways to participate in this space. Goldman Sachs Private Wealth Management is geared toward affluent clients with a minimum of $25 million to invest. There you go. High rollers only. So the Coin Bureau warns of a potential grim price potential for Polygon Matic, and here's why. So the pseudonymous host of popular crypto YouTube channel Coin Bureau is updating his outlook on Layer 2 scaling platform Polygon. In the new video, the guy tells his 2 million YouTube subscribers that circulating supply of Matic is putting fairly significant sell pressure on Polygon that could hamper any rallies in the immediate future. The historical data from CoinMarketCap suggests that Matic's circulating supply has increased by around 600 million over the past 4 months. CoinGecko's historical data suggests Matic's circulating supply hasn't changed at all, but this is very unlikely given Matic's vesting schedule. As it so happens, the vesting contract for the Polygon Foundation released 600 million Matic during the same period, and I know this is because of the images I have from my previous video about the project. The fact that Matic balances of the other vesting contracts have barely changed or even stayed the same suggests that most of the sell pressure is coming from the Polygon Foundation. Guy says that, that the heavy spending of Matic on the part of Polygon's development team to fund acquisitions and operation could impact the price of the crypto asset. Speculations that the Polygon Foundation selling is suppressing Matic's price recently made the crypto headlines, and it makes sense if you do the math. Last August, the Polygon Foundation allocated $1 billion worth of Matic from its treasury to fund the development of zero-knowledge technologies. The Polygon Foundation also paid up to 250 million Matic for its acquisition of Hermes Network. Polygon's aforementioned purchase of Mir Protocol reportedly cost up to 250 million Matic, and even Polygon's 450 million raise was actually an over-the-counter sale of Matic to various crypto VCs. Couldn't find any specific reference to vesting schedule for this 450 million in Matic, so one had to assume they're unlocked. Assuming Messari's vesting schedule for Matic is correct, all of the accounts for most, if not all, the Matic that have been vested to the Polygon Foundation so far, and I imagine the remainder has been spent on operating costs or other investment initiatives rather. Guy says that the sell pressure is painting a grim picture for Matic's price potential in the near future, and any rallies will heavily depend on the demand and future developments on the network. The Russia-Ukraine war will boost the adoption of crypto assets, according to the IMF. So the managing director at the IMF reportedly thinks that increased use of cryptocurrencies could be one consequence of the war between Russia and Ukraine. Nice. In a new Financial Times report, IMF first Deputy Managing Director Gita Gopinath says that the wide range international sanctions imposed upon Russia could fragment the existing economic world order. So he believes that crypto assets, central bank digital currencies and stablecoins could see increased adoption in response. The need for regulation would then follow. So he says all of these will get even greater attention following the recent episodes, which draws us to the question of international regulation. There's a gap to be filled there. He also tells FT that US dollar dominance is likely to lessen as a result of the sanctions the US has put in place as a response to Russia's February 24th invasion of Ukraine. Back in December, the IMF warned, as part of a push for international regulation, that as the nearly 2.5 trillion crypto market becomes more interlinked with traditional finance, systematic financial stability risk could arise in certain countries. The institution followed up in January by discussing how the rising popularity of cryptos combined with their price volatility could negatively affect traditional markets. More recently, the IMF's managing director, Kristina Georgieva, said that the organisation favours CBDCs over cryptocurrencies. Of course they do. They're the IMF. If CBDCs are designed prudently, they can potentially offer more resilience, more safety, greater availability, and lower costs than private forms of digital money. Yes, just like anyone with the monopoly on money would say. Next, the Daily Hodl. We got the Metaverse could balloon into $13 trillion market by 2030, according to banking giant Citi. So Citi thinks that more than 60% of the global population could be using the Metaverse by 2030. In a new report, the multinational financial institution says the Metaverse's total addressable market could grow to between 8 trillion and 13 trillion in the next 8 years. The global Metaverse market size in 21 was estimated to be around 38.85 billion, according to business data provider Statistica. Citi says today the most popular way to experience the Metaverse is via a video game played on virtual reality headsets. But in the report that follows, we discuss the possibility that the Metaverse is moving towards becoming the next iteration of the Internet or Web3. This open Metaverse would be community-owned, community-governed, and freely interoperable version that ensures privacy by design. Users should increasingly be able to access a host of use cases, including commerce, art, media, advertising, healthcare, social collaboration. A device-agnostic metaverse would be accessible via personal computers, game consoles, and smartphones, resulting in a large ecosystem. In order to scale up, however, the metaverse will need significant infrastructure investment, according to the banking giant. The content streaming environment of the metaverse will likely require a computational efficiency improvement of over 1,000 times today's level. Investment will be needed in areas such as compute, storage, network infrastructure, consumer hardware, and game development platforms. Citi predicts that the different forms of crypto will dominate the metaverse, but the financial institution also notes that crypto will likely have to coexist with fiat currencies, stablecoins, and CBDCs. Over on Cointelegraph, we got Aussie crypto finfluencers face tough new legal restrictions. New warnings from ASIC, or the Australian Securities and Investment Commission, on appropriate conduct or financial influences could have a dramatic impact on the local crypto industry. ASIC's recent information sheet outlines the traps influencers and the companies that hire them could fall into while wittingly or unwittingly promoting financial products. The penalties for failing to heed ASIC's warnings could lead to millions of dollars in fines for corporations and up to 5 years in prison for individuals. Although it does not specifically mention crypto influencers, the guidelines certainly apply to them, as cryptocurrency investing services are seen as financial products. To those financial influencers or finfluencers who are not sure whether their brand is in violation of the law, ASIC writes, think about your content carefully and whether you are providing unlicensed financial services. One point of confusion in the new rules concerns exactly what constitutes promotion as opposed to innocuous informing of financial products. Financial blogger from Strong Money Dave Gow wrote on March 29 that writing almost anything could influence someone to invest or use any financial product. Gow's assessment is based on somewhat nebulous distinction ASIC has made between objective facts about a financial product and the way in which influencers may present them. It states, if you present factual information in a way that conveys a recommendation that someone should or should not invest in that product or class of products, you could breach the law by providing unlicensed financial product advice. New Australian Liberal Senator Andrew Bragg believes this is an incongruence between the new ASIC guidelines and how crypto is regulated in his country. He believes that under current laws, the crypto industry should be exempt from these new restrictions. He told Cointelegraph in an email, ASIC's current policies applies the law to crypto to the extent that digital assets fall within the definition of a financial product. Crypto is currently unregulated and not a financial product. I believe we can do more. Senator Bragg is a proponent of clearer crypto regulations and recently introduced an ambitious new proposal concerning decentralised autonomous organisations, DAOs, at Australian Blockchain Week last month. As someone who may now be considered an unlicensed finfluencer, Gow takes exception to restrictions on what they now may not do, which is make any sort of recommendation. He added that the rule limits influencers to simply parroting what you can read elsewhere and harms the investor knowledge base. He stated, how does that help you wade through the sea of information and nonsense out there? I completely agree. As part of Australia's Corporations Act, individual influencers must be aware of how they promote financial products, while corporations must also keep a close watch on their hired influencers to ensure no rules are broken. The Commission offers several case studies that provide context that could help identify whether an individual or company is promoting financial services. So Australia again, with their overreach of control and authoritarianism. Last we have the Fear and Greed Index. So it's currently sitting at 52, yesterday 48, last week we're at 60. So we're doing pretty well on a neutral zone. So if you're not sure what the Fear and Greed Index means, extreme fear can be a sign that investors are too worried. That can be a great buying opportunity. When investors are getting too greedy, that means the market is due for a correction. So we're sitting pretty in the middle. And that's it for this episode of DeFi, Dharma and Liberty. Hope you enjoyed everything in the crypto market update. Please make sure you hit like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you can get updated every time we release a new video. And if you're not already aware, please go and watch our introduction video so you know exactly what we're about, and join us in our movement and our socials in the links in the description box below. Stay free, crypto lovers. Peace out.